Alright boys, I want to go ahead and talk about Enhancement Shaman in this video, like I do most of my videos. But I feel like an Enhancement Shaman is a unfinished class. It is totally unfinished. And we're going to go ahead and just look at the Shaman compared to other classes, specifically more melee. We'll compare it to some casters, but not mostly. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk about defensives. And what is a defensive of Enhancement Shaman? People always bring up. So it's the heals and our wall, right? So we have two things. What does Demon Hunter have? They have Blur. They have a little void thing where they can't be touched, and they also have their leech heals. They also have a lot of mobility. Did we include that? Yeah, we can include that. So they have like 4 defensives. Okay, next we're gonna talk about Fury Warrior. We could talk about Arms Warrior, but Fury Warrior is the meta. Most people are playing Fury Warrior, so that's what we're gonna talk about. Fury Warrior, they have Enrage regen. And then when they can pop that at any point in time. They can use it in stuns and stuff like that. So it's a very good wall. And when they pop it, they get 2 in 1 because they also increase their healing by a lot. So their one wall is going to be a double because it does 2 things. It does 2 things. Windwalker, what do they have? They have Karma, they have Dampen Magic, they have their mobility. That is the things that they have as a Windwalker. Alright, when people think of DKs, what is their survivability? Their slows, their zone in AMS. And their self-heals. So they have 4 things. So just looking at all this, what is the most lacking? Obviously, it's going to be Shaman Warrior. We're down here. We're down here. On top of that, on top of cooldowns being able to be used, we had the lowest amount of mobility compared to all these other melee DPS. All these other melee DPS have way more mobility. Oh my god, I almost forgot. There's a Feral Druid. That's for Druid. So what does Druid have? They have Bark Skin. They have 2 walls, and they have a lot of mobility. Yeah, they have infinite mobility and self-heal. So they have like 5 things, actually. Is that 5? Would that be fair? Feral Druids having 5 things to, like, what they're known for, to be good at. This is why they survive, blah, blah, blah. Now, I want to take a little bit, even more deep of a dive to the Enhancement Shaman's defensives. So, yeah, we have wall, right? We have a 40% wall. On a minute 30-second cooldown. That's if you spec into it. Cannot use it in any kind of CC at all, so you got to be out. So most of the time when we pop our wall, we're normally trinketing. And our second defensive is our healing. And that's the one I really want to talk about. It's something that really bothers me when people say this is the Enhancement Shaman, survivability is our healing. So when we look at a closer look, for Enhancement Shaman to do any kind of significant heals, you have to do 4 GCDs. And that is, you have to have Earth Shield on yourself. You may have to make sure you drop Healing Stream Totem to increase the heal of it by like 25% or something like that. You also have to make sure you Flame Shock something recently so you get a buff that also reduces the mana and increases it by 30%. And then you have to use the healing itself. So that is 4 things, 4 GCDs to make it so that you can even have a heal in general. If you pop it without any of these things, it's going to do almost nothing. And there's almost like a 5th thing that's more passive, is you have to gain up 10 Maelstrom. So again, you have to have those 5 things that come together. More than 4. It's 5 things with Maelstrom included. So again, you have to have Maelstrom, Healing Stream, Flame Shock, Earth Shield, and then pressing the GCD itself. So 5 freaking things. Stars have to align for it to do any kind of significant healing. And even if you do that, your healing is going to be paired up with maybe an Affliction Warlock or a Warlock in general. A DK healing. So our heals aren't even exceptional in that regard. And keep in mind, when we're also spending that 10 Maelstrom healing, that means we're not damaging. And our class kind of revolves around using Maelstrom as a damage. It's not easy to get 10 Maelstrom up just like that. So again, like when we look at Fury Warriors, what happens? They pop their little Berserk or whatever, and they're able to just spam their damage, and that's able to heal them. Not really quite fair. It's kind of 2 in 1. Demon Hunters, what do? They just spam damage. The more aggressive they are, they have a leech. It's fine. That's their heal. Windwalkers, their heals kind of suck. I don't even want to talk about them. They don't really have heals. DKs, their heals are, they have a passive little anti-magic shield. Deathstrike really doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it still does a decent amount of healing. So out of all these classes right here, the most similar to us in terms of lacking, spending globals to heal instead of damage is like DKs, but even then, Enhancement Shamans are just far behind. Like I said, our healing isn't really that superior of any other class in terms of healing. Oh my god, I don't know how I almost forgot that. Chat, there's a Ret Paladin. Holy crap. How did I forget a Ret Paladin? Well, we could talk about Red Powder real quick. Red Powder aren't really known for their healing anymore. Their healing is kind of like subpar, just like ours. But they do way more damage. They're just a wheelchair that does a lot of damage. Even Red Paladins talk about this. They don't like their class design. Their class design is a unfinished class, just like an Enhancement Shamans. It's actually really sad. So when you look at an Enhancement Shaman, what do we really even excel at? We don't excel in self-healing. We don't have amazing defensives. Now let's look at the damage. The damage, again, if you want to be able to do any kind of healing, your damage is going to be suffering immensely. So you have to pick one or the two. Am I going to want to be able to compete with other classes and doing damage and spending your own Maelstrom? Great. Then you're not going to do any healing at all. Fury Warriors will out-heal you without even popping their defenses. Demon Hunters will out-heal you. Now, something that bothers me even more on top of all that, lacking in survivability, is our mobility with our ability to even slow the target and get to that target. Enhancement Shaman has some of the worst slows in the game. Oh my god, we even forgot Assassination. Holy crap, we're forgetting so many things. Oh. So our slows. Okay. We have a decent amount of slows. We have 2 totems that can slow. We have Frost Shock, and then you can run Ice Strike if you talent into it. So we kind of have like 4 abilities to slow things. But they're all super low cooldown. So like if you drop a little totem, it's going to slow them for 3 seconds and it's going to tick. And that's if they sit in that one area. Most of the time, they're not going to be just sitting there. They're going to be moving around. Frost Shock something, guess what? That's going to last 6 seconds. So when you do a 6-second slow, how many abilities do you think you can get off? Like 3 or 4 or something like that? So I want to see how many globals we can get before we hit the slow target again. So Frost Shock, Lava Lash, Icy Flames, Sunder, and we hit the Frost Shock again. Okay, so every 4th GCD, you had to reapply it. Are slow. Meanwhile, Demoners don't even need slows right here. They pretty much have a lot of mobility, but they do have slows. Warriors, their slow lasts like 12 to 16 seconds or something like that. They have to reapply it. So they could, it's literally double the duration or even triple. Windwalkers, they press it once and they never really have to put it on again if they stay in their target. Anytime they do damage, it just reapplies. DK slow is the best slow in the game. I don't know the duration of it, but it's one of the best slows in the game. And a Feral Druid, they don't have to worry about it either because when they do damage, it's part of their DPS rotation. And then an Assassination Rogue, they don't have to do anything as part of the rotation, just auto-apply. So again, we are probably the most lacking in slows, lacking in survivability, lacking in healing. I feel like I really got to add Rogue in here. Let me go ahead and add Rogue in here. So what do Rogues have? They have Evasion, they have Cloak, they have Vanish. They actually have 2 Vanishes now, so they have 4. And we're going to go ahead and put this as 1 because they have a lot of abilities. They're CC. They have Kidney, Gouge, stuff like that. So they have like 5 ways to live. So they're also very strong again. This class is very strong. So back to the Shaman. There's not a whole lot of GCDs as my class that I'm able to spend doing damage itself. One of the biggest problems is I find myself just most of the time just healing. If I'm not healing, I'm slowing. If I'm not slowing, then I'm trying to build up Maelstrom so that I can heal. There's a reason why Train Blue is a saying in World of Warcraft, is because Train Blue means kill the freaking Shaman because they have no way to survive. We're literally one of the most underfinished classes there is. And so is a Red Paladin. I think Red Paladin is a very similar boat. Very similar to boat. So I just want Blizzard to see this, that we lack in so many things compared to other classes. And one thing I really hate is I don't want Blizzard to just buff our damage to make us insane again. Give us abilities, give us change things. Make it so that I excel in something. So when you look at all these classes excel in something, everything, besides my freaking class. When you look at rogues, they have high bursts. They have a lot of survivability. They have a lot of mobility as well. Demon Hunters, they're very hard to kill. They do a lot of damage. You can't really stop them if they want to get to you. Fury Warrior has a lot of mobility as well. Not as much as a Demon Hunter, not as much as Windwalker, but they do have a decent amount of mobility compared to the Shaman. So if Warriors, if you feel like you're having a tough time of mobility and you're not liking what I'm saying, guess what? I have it worse than you. I have less ways to get to that target than you do. Windwalkers, they have an almost infinite amount of mobility, just like a Demon Hunter. DKs, their mobility sucks, okay? That's the only class. That was one of the few classes I'll be like, yeah, your mobility sucks, but you excel in slowing. You have a lot of slows and you do a lot of damage. You excel, okay? When you fight Feral Druid, they have a lot of mobility, they do a lot of damage, and they have a lot of controls. So my class is just a glass cannon without the cannon. It sucks because the only way they can make our class better is by simply making our damage just crazy or making our healing just crazy. It's not like my class itself can carry itself. Not like other classes. There's a reason why Rogue Mage is always very good, regardless of how they are in the PvE standpoint. I don't know, I just wanted to make this video just talking about this. I'm sure I went everywhere in terms of like rambling. But anyways, guys, I hope that you guys were able to follow along. This was kind of a weird video. Hope you liked the video. If you do, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Let me know what you think down below. And have a beautiful night. Merry Christmas, everyone. Christmas Eve. Peace.